Alrighty, hello. Good evening. Welcome back to the Law Entrance YouTube channel and to another session of the Hindu analysis. Today is 13th of May and it's Wednesday evening and we are live. I hope I'm audible, visible, PPT is also visible. Everything is good to go. Just give me a quick yes in the chat, please, if we are ready to go. Aradhe is here, Tanish is here, Shri is here, Charmi is here, Ridhima is here, Mahika is here, Haru is here, Prasiti, Saranya, Shriya, Pratyush. Very good evening, everyone. How many of you got board results today? Congratulations to everyone who got their board exam results, no matter what the result was. Below expectation, above expectations, at par. You still deserve congratulations for crossing this milestone of your life. It's a big milestone for sure. So yeah, heartiest congratulations. I'm sure that there's a lot to come and this is just the start. Good evening Rashi. All right, ठीक है. Audio video सब set है. Start करते हैं हम लोग आज का discussion. Also, I also got to know that इस बार results overall थोड़े से down आए. ऐसा है क्या? Do you guys know people who are saying the same? Lesser than expectations? Is that true? Or is that just rumors I heard? क्या बात है, सब लोग थोड़े डाउन लग रहे हैं. Chat box seems a little down today. 92.75 is terrific, यार. That's so good. Congratulations. मैथ्स ने कम कर दिए मार्क्स. अरे कोई बात नहीं यार, कहाँ ले जाओगे इतने सारे मार्क्स. 92 बहुत मार्क्स होते हैं. मेरे नहीं आए थे इतने 12th में. Although I was in ISC, but regardless, you got more than me. बहुत सारे दोस्तों के कम आए हैं. That's what I heard. Maybe because of the online checking scenario, teachers played it a little safe this year. That is the only possible reason I can think of. चलो ठीक है. Regardless of the results, our primary focus has to be the CLAT exam, जिसके लिए हम सब यहाँ पे हैं. एंड उसमें रिजल्ट्स टॉप क्लास आए, वो मेरी जिम्मेदारी है, आपकी भी जिम्मेदारी है. तो लेट्स बिगिन वर्किंग टुवर्ड्स दैट जिम्मेदारी. 4 articles which we're going to discuss today. First on the front page is NEET got cancelled. री एग्जाम होगा, थोड़ी सी उसकी बातचीत करेंगे. फ्रॉम स्टैटिक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू मैं आपको बताऊंगा क्या क्या रेगुलेशंस हैं एंड ऑल ऑफ दोज थिंग्स. Then we have an update with regards to the BRICS meeting that there would be no high-level representation from China in the BRICS meeting. So that is one thing. Then an editorial on water resources, an editorial on data and justice. These we'll discuss on the PPT. Apart from that, there are a few articles today which are new and different. We'll see them on the newspaper. Good evening, Adrija. Good evening, Parth. OSM ने very weird कर दिया checking. Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah, it was digital correction this year. That's true. Vijay saying, good evening. Mixed day today. Guy, I was scribe for got 87.6. That's nice. Studied for 2 days before, so I'm glad. That's also nice. Otherwise, not very nice. Terrible headaches. Eyes still burning. Maybe see a doctor, please. Health is the most important out of all the things you listed. बाकी सारी चीजें are important, but not as important as health. So health पे focus करो. बाकी congratulations to your scribe and to you for helping him with that effort. Well done. ठीक है, हम लोग चलते हैं अपने न्यूज़पेपर की तरफ. आज है वेंसडे, यानी कि परसों करेंगे हम अपना मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री का मेंटी क्विज विच इज ऑन फ्राइडे. अच्छा हाँ, एक और चीज़, आप लोगों की डिमांड थी कि एलेट पे एक स्ट्रैटेजी सेशन किया जाए, तो वो स्केड्यूल मैंने करवा दिया है. फ्राइडे को 8:45 पे हम करने वाले हैं. तो देर आर 2 things which we can do. One is either we can start the strategy session a little late, maybe around 9:05, 9:10 after the Menti quiz, or we can push the Menti quiz to Monday or Tuesday, whichever thing you guys suggest. क्योंकि फ्राइडे फिर थोड़ा सा आप लोगों के लिए हेक्टिक हो जाएगा. क्लास, फिर मेंटी क्विज, फिर स्ट्रैटेजी सेशन. सो माय सजेशन वुड बी कि मेंटी क्विज हम मंडे या ट्यूसडे को कर लें. बाकी ऑफ कोर्स इफ यू गाइस वांट इट ऑन फ्राइडे इटसेल्फ, आई एम ओके विद फ्राइडे इटसेल्फ. आप लोग बताओ क्या चाहते हो. मंडे को मेंटी क्विज या फ्राइडे को ही दोनों चीजें, मेंटी प्लस स्ट्रैटेजी सेशन? Pratima saying I felt many answers which I thought were correct were marked as wrong. हो सकता है, that could be possible. I think rechecking का तो option होगा आप लोगों के पास. Maybe exercise that if you are very confident. ठीक है, we have consensus for Monday. That's nice. Monday करते हैं फिर मेंटी क्विज. मेंटी क्विज तो मैंने ऑलमोस्ट बना ही लिया आप लोगों का, तो makes no difference. ठीक है, so Menti quiz is gonna be Monday, and AILET का strategy session would then we can do it around 8:45 on Friday, and you guys would also be free by 9:15 or so. ठीक है, sorted now. So please be there for the strategy session. सिर्फ आप लोगों के लिए रखवाया है मैंने, just because you guys requested. The team was saying कि वीडियो बना दो 5 मिनट का, कि 7 months are left for AILET, what all to do. मैंने कहा नहीं यार, बच्चे रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं सेशन के लिए, and they want to actually ask a few questions. सो सेशन जरूरी है, तो डिसाइड की ठीक है मैं सेशन कर लूँ, आपकी मर्जी है. तो जस्ट आप लोगों के लिए रख रहा हूँ मैं सेशन, वरना आई कुड बी डन विद माई रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बाय मेकिंग अ 5-10 minutes वीडियो. सो प्लीज बी देयर इज व्हाट आई जस्ट एक्सपेक्ट, दैट्स ऑल. ठीक है, आ जाना प्लीज. ऑलराइट, चलो न्यूज़पेपर की तरफ चलते हैं. लेट्स गो. गुड इवनिंग रूही. विशम इज सेइंग डिड सी अ डॉक्टर, लैक ऑफ स्लीप. नथिंग आई कैन डू अबाउट दैट. अरे थोड़ा सा ज्यादा स्लीप ले लो, यू कैन डू समथिंग अबाउट इट. Maybe try taking proper 7-8 hours of sleep at least for 1 week till you are feeling better. Then maybe you can cut down slightly if you want to. But I am a very big supporter of taking adequate sleep. Even during my preparation days, the only thing I ensured was that sleep अच्छी हो और खाना पीना अच्छा हो. बाकी सब everything gets into place once sleep and diet is sorted out. So yeah, I would not recommend that you guys cut down severely on sleep. ठीक है, मतलब 9 घंटे का 6 घंटे तक जा सकते हो, उतना बफर आप कर सकते हो. बट एनीथिंग बिफोर 6 hours is gonna reduce your productivity and your efficiency significantly. Believe it or not, you won't perform your best if you are not well rested, if you don't have at least 6 hours of sleep. Someone like me does not function properly before 7 hours of sleep because most of my work is mental activity. So मैं तो बहुत फ्रस्ट्रेट हो जाता हूँ when I don't get 7 hours of sleep. Don't know about you guys. Anyway, take adequate sleep, take adequate diet, and take care of your health. That is most important, is what I'm trying to say. Coming back to the newspaper, the Hindu newspaper, 13th of May, Wednesday. Let's begin. NEET UG 2026 cancelled after question paper leak. So कल ही हमने डिस्कस किया, वैसे ही काफी अनफॉर्चुनेट. NTA conduct करवाता है ये एग्जाम, नेशनल टेस्टिंग एजेंसी, and they've cancelled the exam. This was held on 3rd of May because there is clear evidence now that the question paper was leaked. NEET, and सबको पता ही है, it's an entrance exam for admission to MBBS and other undergraduate medical courses, and around 20 lakh plus students जो है हर साल एग्जाम देते हैं, which is more than IIT JEE वाला एग्जाम. So this cancellation happened after the investigation found that there was a leaked guest paper which was shared online, and many questions were matching with that guest paper in the actual exam paper. And इन्होंने एक कंप्लेंट भी रिसीव करी थी 7th of May को, विसल ब्लोअर कंप्लेंट which talked about this leak. So now CBI ने अपनी official investigation start कर दी है, and police have also started taking action. They have already arrested one suspect in Nashik. एंड या दैट्स प्रीटी मच व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन. एनटीए के जो डायरेक्टर जनरल हैं अभिषेक सिंह, उनका कहना है कि अभी तक एग्जैक्ट सोर्स ऑफ लीक हमें नहीं पता चला है. दैट वुड बी आउट आफ्टर सीबीआई कंप्लीट्स इट्स इन्वेस्टिगेशन. Now they are, checking CCTV footage from multiple cameras placed in the strong rooms and exam locations to track what could have caused the leak. And अब जो है रीटेस्ट कराया जाएगा, उसकी डेट्स जो है अनाउंस करी जाएंगी विद इन अ वीक, and the re-exam would be done as soon as possible. The only silver lining here is that students would not be required to register again or pay the fees again for the retest. And जिन्होंने फीस ऑलरेडी दे रखी है, उनकी फीस रिफंड करने का भी कुछ तो बातचीत चल रही है. So yeah, that's pretty much what we need to know with respect to the NEET leak. And इसका जो लीगल इम्प्लीकेशन है वो मैं आपको पीपीटी पे बताता हूँ. Kerala CM suspends talks, continues amid talks. Okay. What is chat saying? Menti, we are doing modern history, 1857 से 1947, मंडे को होने वाला है, करेक्ट. Alright, ठीक है, यहाँ पे कुछ important नहीं है. Pricey food and dining out push retail inflation to a 13-month high of 3.5%. I was also reading a couple of reports, different reports, IMF ki report, World Bank ki report, and inflation is actually increasing quite rapidly in India. Retail inflation की article बात करता है, which means the general rise of prices of goods and services over time. And it is still lower than what many economists had expected, but inflation overall is increasing because of higher food prices, higher fuel cost, of course, West Asian crisis. March May, this was around 3.4%, April May, again rose to 3.5% and still continuously increasing. The economists का कहना है कि although this is softer than expected, the prices are still rising sharply because of the geopolitical tensions, because of the El Nino weather conditions, जिस वजह से weak rainfall हो रही है, crop production effect हो रहा है, and restaurants and hotels as a result are becoming costly because of rising fuel and cooking gas prices. That's pretty much what the article says. और तो ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं है. On the right hand side, as we were talking about how fuel prices might increase in the future, the article says the same, that Petroleum Minister Mr. Hardeep Singh Puri hints at fuel price hike as oil marketing companies mounting losses cause concern. He's saying कि एक क्वार्टर के लॉस जो है एक साल का प्रॉफिट वाइप आउट कर देते हैं, तो वी डोंट नो कि कब तक कंपनीज जो है लॉसेस बियर कर पाएंगी. 1000 crore पर डे का आई थिंक ऑलमोस्ट लॉस चल रहा है इनका कंपनीज का. सो एक्सपेक्ट फ्यूल प्राइस टू rise sharply in the next few days. Kejriwal has urged the students, NEET exam takers, to hit the streets and protest. They're saying that center only understands the language of agitation. Alleges connivance. Connivance मतलब होता है मिली भगत, है ना, साठ गांठ आपस में मिलजुल के क्राइम करना. Political patronage at a very high level. Student outfits stage demonstrations outside Education Ministry headquarters, seek ministers' resignation and scrapping of the National Testing Agency. St. Stephen gets its first woman principal since 1881. This is Mrs. Susan Elias. All right. Miss Susan Elias, pardon me. ठीक है, आगे चलते हैं. स्टेट बेस्ड न्यूज में क्या है हमारे पास. CBI nabs 3 in graft case. This is a corruption case. Aam Aadmi Party's anti-corruption crusade a sham, says opposition parties. Crusade मतलब उनका जो टीम है, इनिशिएटिव है. sham मतलब it's farce, it's useless, बेकार है एकदम. Den of thieves, Union Minister criticizes BJP civic body in Faridabad. All right. Compensate us and we can ban liquor in 2 minutes, says NC Chief Farooq Abdullah to the center. तो इट्स बेसिकली अबाउट रेवेन्यू. तो सेंटर चाहता है कि JNK लिकर बैन कर दे. JNK कह रहा है हाँ बिल्कुल कर देंगे, 2 मिनट में बैन कर देंगे, आप हमें कॉम्पेंसेट कर देना, जो हमारा रेवेन्यू जनरेट होता है लिकर से, तो हम बैन कर देंगे. फेयर इनफ. ठीक है, आगे चलते हैं. टॉकिंग ऑफ लिकर, CM of Tamil Nadu, new CM, orders closure of 717 TASMAC outlets. These are liquor outlets across Tamil Nadu. Of these, 276 are located within half a kilometer of places of worship, 186 near schools, colleges, 255 near bus terminals. Closure of liquor shops is a long-standing demand, especially from women. So, nice initiative. अभी से तुरंत से एक्शन में आ गए हैं विजय भाई. टॉप कोर्ट टू हेयर टीवी के MLAs ट्रस्ट वोट प्ली टुडे. तो वही जो इनका गवर्नर वाला पूरा इशू चल रहा था, दैट इज व्हाट द कोर्ट वुड हेयर अ प्ली ऑन with respect to how one MLA from TVK approached the Supreme Court after the Madras High Court stopped him from voting in the Assembly Trust vote. तो उन्होंने जो है प्ली फाइल करी थी कोर्ट में. अब ट्रस्ट वोट इज बेसिकली कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन जो कहते हैं हम, which is required to prove whether a party has majority or not, they have enough MLAs or not, and if they lose the confidence motion, the government falls. तो उनको वोट नहीं डालने दिया था TVK के एक MP को, MLA को रहता, तो उसी के लिए उन्होंने प्ली फाइल करी थी. अब देखते हैं कोर्ट का इस पे क्या ऑर्डर आता है. फिलहाल तो विजय भाई CM बन चुके हैं. Why no FIR in NEET paper leak case, asks Congress, won't allow state song to be relegated. Relegated मतलब उसकी पोजीशन को लोअर डाउन करना। सेज डीएम के इनका जब स्वेरिंग इन हुई थी तमिलनाडु के सीएम साहब की, तो पहले जनगण मन बजाया गया, उसके बाद वंदे मातरम बजाया गया, उसके बाद इनका स्टेट सॉन्ग विच इज तमिल थाई वाज टू, दिस वाज प्लेड। तो दे वर लाइक कि ये प्रायोरिटी ऑर्डर सही नहीं है, पहले स्टेट सॉन्ग बजाना चाहिए था। उसी के अराउंड डिबेट चल रही है। FIR against unknown right-wing activist for assaulting man over love jihad in Bhopal. Okay. Supreme Court directs state government to frame policy to introduce Rajasthani as a medium of instruction. Okay. कोर्ट बेसिकली कह रहा है कि क्वालिटी ऑफ एजुकेशन जो है कॉम्प्रोमाइज नहीं होनी चाहिए। तो अगर बच्चों को राजस्थानी में पढ़ाई करनी है तो राजस्थानी को मीडियम ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शन आपको बनाना पड़ेगा। दिस वुड बी अ रीजनल एजुकेशनल लैंग्वेज यूज्ड फॉर अर्ली स्कूलिंग स्टेजेस, एंड आगे चल के फिर द स्टूडेंट्स कैन डिसाइड इफ दे वांट टू कंटिन्यू इन अ डिफरेंट लैंग्वेज और नॉट। जो नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी है 2020 की, that supports teaching young children in their home language, in their mother tongue, in their regional language. And कोर्ट का कहना है कि once the central government has recognized this idea through their own policy, state government has the duty to implement it seriously. एक अपील फाइल करी गई थी 2024 में in the Rajasthan High Court, where they wanted to introduce Rajasthani as a teaching language in schools, and also in teacher eligibility and exam syllabus and all. तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा कि वही डिमांड तो जस्टिफाइड है। अगर देयर इज बेनिफिट व्हिच कैन बी derived out of using Rajasthani for students, then it should definitely be made a medium of instruction. बाकी गवर्नमेंट का कहना है कि सिर्फ जो 8th शेड्यूल की लैंग्वेजेस हैं उनको यूज करा जाना चाहिए स्कूल करिकुलम में। कितनी लैंग्वेजेस हैं हमारे 8th शेड्यूल में, जल्दी से बताओ इन द चैट बॉक्स। हाउ मेनी लैंग्वेजेस आर रिकॉग्नाइज्ड इन द 8th शेड्यूल ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन? कोर्ट का कहना है कि आपका ये जो नजरिया है ये काफी शॉर्ट साइटेड है, काफी मायोपिक है। मायोपिया हाइपरमेट्रोपिया पढ़ा होगा आपने स्कूल में, है ना? तो मायोपिक मींस शॉर्ट साइटेड, एंड द कोर्ट सेड दैट constitutional promises should actually lead to real action. They should not just remain symbolic statements, and therefore they have ordered the Rajasthan government to submit a compliance report by September explaining कि क्या भाई steps लिए जाएंगे। तो ठीक है, अच्छी बात है, good step in the right direction I believe. 22 languages in the 8th schedule, absolutely correct. Originally कितनी languages थी, चलो ये बताओ। When originally 8th schedule was formed, how many languages were there, and then how many were added later? This chat saying shouldn't students focus on studying right now instead of protesting? मतलब it's a two ways, क्या कहते हैं उसको, दो धारी तलवार, टू साइडेड स्वॉर्ड। पढ़ाई करोगे तो फिर प्रोटेस्ट आगे करने का कोई फायदा नहीं, प्रोटेस्ट करोगे और प्रोटेस्ट सक्सेसफुल नहीं हुआ तो पढ़ाई कॉम्प्रोमाइज हो जाएगी। सो इट्स two-edged sword. Are you saying my partner got 97% in boards and their NEET ka attempt was really good too? Ab they are just stressed. They? Okay. ठीक है। But yeah, 97% तो बहुत सही है यार। But हाँ, NEET तो of course that's a bummer. But I hope your partner does well again in the next attempt as well. All the best to him, her, they. Profession of doctors in itself is facing a lot of problems, mood scams, RG type cases, viruses, infection. That's true. Yes, originally we had 14 languages. जेल नहीं जाना इसीलिए दे okay, fair enough, understandable. 8 more were added through amendments, that's correct. The latest were the 4 languages: Bodo, Dogri, Maithili and Santhali. Yes. Alrighty, आगे चलते हैं हम लोग। Delay in naming Kerala CM. Supreme Court upholds right to speedy trial in 1989 Kumbh Mela case. तो 1989 से केस चल रहा है ये, एंड कोर्ट ने कहा कि भाई राइट टू स्पीडी ट्रायल तो फंडामेंटल राइट है अंडर आर्टिकल 21, And this is a criminal case which is pending for the last 35 plus years. And इस case में five police constables basically got into a fight, and this was allegedly because एक कुक था कैंटीन में, he served better food to one constable. दो कांस्टेबल थे, एक को बढ़िया खाना मिल गया, एक को अच्छा खाना नहीं मिला, तो वहां पे लड़ाई चालू हो गई. And it led to a physical fight, and then charges were heard, grievous hurt, criminal intimidation, and all that. And this case got transferred to a magistrate court in Allahabad in 1991. एंड तब से ये हमारे सिस्टम में फंसा हुआ है सिंस डेकेड्स. इसमें जो दो अक्यूज्ड पुलिसमैन थे वो स्वर्ग से धार चुके हैं ऑलरेडी. दे हैव ऑलरेडी पास्ड अवे. एंड उस समय उत्तराखंड जो है उत्तर प्रदेश का पार्ट था, अब दो अलग स्टेट बन चुके हैं इन द ईयर 2000. एंड द ट्रायल हैज बेयरली प्रोग्रेस्ड सिंस देन. 2023 में ट्रायल कोर्ट ने एक्विट कर दिया था दो एक्यूज्ड को बिकॉज दे कुड नॉट प्रोड्यूस एनी विटनेस इन 30 years. बट एक कांस्टेबल है कैलाश चंद्र कपरी, उनके अगेंस्ट प्रोसीडिंग्स अभी भी चल रही हैं एंड हाई कोर्ट रिफ्यूज टू क्लोज द केस. कपरी साहब के जो लॉयर हैं उनका कहना है कि जब एफआईआर फाइल हुई थी तब वो 22 साल के थे, वाज 22 years old एंड नाउ ही इज 59 years old. तो क्या ओके, दूसरे टैब में कुछ प्ले होने लग गया. तो मैं क्या बता रहा था आप लोगों को, मैं बता रहा था कि व्हाट इज हैपनिंग. इट्स फाइन, ओके, ठीक है. कुछ तो पॉपअप आ रहा था मेरी स्क्रीन पे. या तो मैं आपको बता रहा था कि कपरी साहब जिनके अगेंस्ट केस चल रहा है वो अब हो गए 59 years के, एंड ही हैज नॉट रिसीव्ड अ सिंगल कोर्ट समन्स सिंस 2021 and his constitutional right to speedy trial has been violated. तो अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट का कहना है कि he said the justice Pardiwala said that being labeled as an accused for decades also affects a person's dignity and normal life. Justice, if it is delayed for so long, it becomes very unfair. तो speedy trial पे basically उन्होंने focus किया. That's pretty much it. What is chat saying? Sister and friend gave the exam and they were devastated after the news. Rightly so. हर बार नीट का ही पेपर कैसे लीक हो जाता है, pretty continuous and strange. डिमांड ज्यादा है नीट के पेपर की मार्केट में. Was the partiality based on gender, race? Details दी नहीं है इस आर्टिकल में. Maybe you can dig deeper. I haven't checked कि ऐसा क्यों हुआ कि बेटर खाना खिलाया. I don't think it was because of these reasons. Maybe random ही था. I really hope nothing like that happens for CLAT, of course. No matter how much consortium gets crazy, they conduct the exam well. Yeah, touch wood. अभी तक तो इस टाइप के blunders तो नहीं हुए. But yeah, questions and stuff, they are notorious to mess up. At least it's a few questions only, says Ansh. Wow, the bar is really low, huh? Messing up a few questions is now becoming acceptable and normalized. Probe intensified as timer circuit recovered near PM Modi's convoy route. हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं. These were gelatin sticks. Okay, आगे चलते हैं editorial में. The first two articles, these are state politics. We have discussed this sufficiently already. कुछ नया नहीं है यहाँ पे. Managing coexistence in human wildlife conflict zones. So this article essentially talks about how human wildlife conflict is not just a wildlife problem, it's a social problem, it's an environmental problem, it's also an economic problem, and how this conflict is constantly increasing because our forests are shrinking, farming areas are expanding, roads and cities are growing, infrastructure is growing, natural habitats are getting disturbed. तो इस वजह से ह्यूमन और वाइल्ड लाइफ का कॉन्फ्लिक्ट बढ़ रहा है. दे आर गेटिंग इनटू डायरेक्ट कॉन्फ्लिक्ट एंड लोगों को भी नुकसान हो रहा है, एनिमल्स को भी नुकसान हो रहा है, क्रॉप्स को भी नुकसान हो रहा है, प्रॉपर्टी को भी नुकसान हो रहा है. लूज लूज सिचुएशन है. Elephants are destroying crops, tigers, leopards are attacking livestock, and children, monkeys, and wild boars are entering villages. And the article tells you that wildlife is not invading human areas intentionally. Humans are increasingly changing the natural landscape and taking away their home, which is forcing these animals to, adapt and search for food in other places. And because these forests are becoming more and more fragmented and shortened तो नहीं बोलेंगे, reduced in size, Animals are also losing their preys and movement routes, and they are coming towards farms and settlements. काफी देखने को मिलता है इंडिया में हमें ह्यूमन वाइल्ड लाइफ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, और भी काफी कंट्रीज में देखने को मिलता है, ब्राजील, इंडोनेशिया, कीनिया एटसेट्रा, जहाँ पे भी रिच बायोडाइवर्सिटी है, जहाँ पे भी लार्ज एनिमल पॉपुलेशन है. एंड द ऑथर एसेंशियली टेल्स यू दैट animal behavior in these situations is usually adaptive. They want to adapt and not be aggressive deliberately. Elephants are raiding crops because forest and food resources for them are shrinking. These predators, leopards and all, are attacking livestock because wild prey is declining. Monkeys are exploiting easy available food near villages. So this is a sign of ecological imbalance and not necessarily bad animal behavior. So animals ko blame karna iske liye, that's pretty stupid. And they've given you examples of countries like African countries like Botswana and Namibia, जहाँ पे local communities share their tourism revenue and help in wildlife management, because they of course benefit economically from conservation, and that reduces hostility towards animals. They give you example of Costa Rica, जहाँ पे उन्होंने natural pathways बना रखे हैं for animals to move safely between habitats. Finland also has real time monitoring of wildlife and compensation systems for uh, cutting down forests and all. So ये सारे models से हमें ये सारे lessons लेने चाहिए, that we should also engage local communities, financial support देना चाहिए towards wildlife conservation, and ecological planning इस तरीके से होनी चाहिए that it minimizes the conflict between humans and wildlife. And that is what this article pretty much discusses. ठीक है. What is chat saying? नमस्ते कुशाग्र भाई, लॉन्ग टाइम नो सी, क्या हाल चाल है आपके? What's going on? Ambiguous questions better than leak papers. Ideally तो दोनों ही नहीं होने चाहिए, but then real world में रहते हैं. That's true. Real world में भी दोनों चीजें नहीं होनी चाहिए. Okay, चलो नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल की तरफ चलते हैं. डेटा एंड जस्टिस, ये वैसे हम पीपीटी पे भी करने वाले हैं, चलो पीपीटी पे ही करते हैं इसको. This also will do on PPT. Water resources. Addressing electrical fire risk. Let's read the gist. Delhi Fire Service data attributes over 80% of fires in the capital to electrical faults, with rapid load growth, poor installation capacity, weak maintenance, increasing fire risk. Air conditioners are among the heaviest electrical loads in homes, with startup currents several times higher than running current, and are often wired into circuits shared with other heavy appliances. ISI marked electrical equipment, dedicated AC circuits, periodic thermography scans, annual servicing, and immediate attention to flickering or burning smells can help prevent these electric fires. Okay. Structural adjustments, Global South, this you can skip. China's foreign minister said to skip the BRICS meeting in Delhi. Beijing cites scheduling reasons and states that Chinese ambassador to India, Xu Fihong, will be present. It represents readiness to work with BRICS members to support India as the chair. इसकी करेंगे थोड़ी सी बातचीत पीपीटी पे. ब्रिक्स का भी बैकग्राउंड एक बार फिर से रिवाइज करेंगे. ठीक है, नथिंग इंपॉर्टेंट है. Rahul Gandhi records dissent on selection of CBI director and he is calling it a biased move. अभी के हमारे जो CBI director उनका नाम है प्रवीण सूद, and his term is ending in the next 10-11 days. The high-level committee led by our Prime Minister met to choose the next director of CBI, and during this meeting, the leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi submitted a strong dissent note criticizing the selection process. This committee usually includes 3 members: Prime Minister, Chief Justice of India, and the leader of opposition, which is Rahul Gandhi. And this structure is meant to ensure balance, transparency, and no partisanship and no bias, basically. So Rahul Gandhi का कहना है that the government is misusing the CBI against political opponents, opposition, journalists, critics, and he calls this institutional capture, where this institution is being controlled for political purposes. He said that there was lack of transparency about the candidates. He was not given enough information about the candidates being considered, and he claimed that he was denied self-appraisal reports and 360-degree reports of candidates, and said that reviewing these documents was important to properly judge the candidates. He said that he was expected to review records of 69 candidates only during the meeting of selection itself, and he was not given enough time for detailed examination, which kind of made the process unfair, predetermined, and just a formality. He said that the opposition's role should not be just like a rubber stamp, not just symbolic. And Yeah, he basically said that I dissent to this shortlisting. They would finalize the CBI director from the shortlist of senior IPS officers from different states, and Rahul Gandhi has submitted his dissent in this. What is chat saying? Elephant's brain releases a similar hormone when they see humans as humans do when they see puppies. Oh, that's nice. That's sweet. 98 percentage in 12th. क्या बात है यार पीयूष? Congratulations. Very well done. 98 is superb, man. If you would have been a student from my batch, I would have been very jealous. But now I'm very happy for you. Why does bro complain about everything? His job is to complain. He's the opposition. Uh, ठीक है, it's fine. Makes me really happy that any elephant somewhere in the world finds me cute. Yeah, it's low key, nice fact. Heartwarming. High Court cautious centers decision refusing OCI status to journalist. Experts say NTA needs to be structurally reformed. As mix-ups reoccur, the agency faces charges of lax operational capacity, porous cybersecurity, poor crisis communication, and experts are saying transition to digital test and decentralization of admissions should be done. No fees for NEET retest, registration data, and candidature to be retained. I mean, that's the bare minimum they can do as of now. Opposition targets corrupt BJP over paper leak. If one's destiny is determined not by hard work but by money and connections, what meaning will education hold? The Prime Minister's so-called Amrit Kal has turned into Wish Kal for the country. Well, fair enough. Here I sympathize with all the students and agree with the statement, I guess. Hemanta takes oath as Assam Chief Minister for second successive term. Bigger the theft, bigger the reward, says Rahul. Okay. ठीक है. 4 cheetah cubs killed in suspected leopard attack. Oh damn. IMD unveils block level monsoon forecast model. मतलब और precise हो जाएगा इनका forecast for a very specific region. It has been a long-standing aim of IMD to provide hyper-local forecast to help farmers time their sowing precisely. However, the system might face a formidable test this year in light of the El Nino effect. All right, Manrega workers to go on strike on Friday. ठीक है. Cool. Fresh push for implementation of the PM Shri scheme in Bengal, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. This is School for Rising India, PM Shri scheme. इसका implementation कुछ states में नहीं हुआ था. 2022 की ये scheme है to transform 14,500 schools into exemplar institutions as per the National Education Policy. Alrighty, what else do we have? What trade deals promise are far from reality, says our Chief Economic Advisor, Mr. V. Anant Nageshwaran. There's a substantial gap between what FTAs promise and what regulations permit. Days after EU envoys similar statement on compliance issues. India-Oman FTA is on track for 1st of June start, even as deal with Chile at hurdles. ठीक है, बढ़िया है. India-Oman FTA साइन हो जाएगा तब बात करेंगे इसकी. Indices slide again. 2%. Rupee touches a new low, 95.6 a dollar. My prediction is that rupee would cross 100 rupees a dollar in the next couple of months. Let's see. काफी सारे factors, साथ में काम कर रहे हैं. There's the whole West Asian conflict, rising price of crude oil, foreign investors pulling out their money, inflation rising. All of these things are causing the index to slide, markets to slide. Exim Bank plans $10.5 billion fundraise. Government unveils insurance pool for Indian vessels amid West Asia crisis. The Department of Financial Services unveiled Bharat Maritime Insurance Pool, holding a sovereign guarantee of almost 13,000 crores for continuous stream of maritime coverage. So ये नाम याद रखना बस, Bharat Maritime Insurance Pool, BMIP. ठीक है. Alright, रशिया यूक्रेन की ट्रूस खत्म हो गई है, फिर से नए अटैक स्टार्ट हो गए हैं. ब्रिटिश पीएम स्टार्मर says he will not quit after Labour's local poll losses. Amid recovery fueled by worker remittances, Sri Lanka remains wary of West Asian conflict. ठीक है. Iran says US must accept peace plan or face failure. Cool. कल जीटी जीत गई एसआरएच से. आज आरसीबी का मैच है. आई थिंक बारिश हो गई आज मैच में. All right, Sandeep back with the bang with winning the Greco-Roman 60 kg title. This is wrestling. Sandeep is a wrestler from Haryana. Not the end of road for Vinesh Fogart, says WFI. Manish ends a long win drought, enters pre-quarterfinals. These are ATP Challenger Tournament tennis. All right, that's about the newspaper for the day, folks. Let's come back to our PPT, do the remaining 4 articles. His only options left were to support the Prime Minister, argue that lost dogs shouldn't be found. Yes, Prime Minister, TV quote on the leader of opposition. Okay. Sir, in Tamil Nadu, the governor invited TVK to make government, but in Puducherry, the CM was appointed by a president. So it is different in a union territory. Yes, it is different in a union territory. Union territories में center का control ज़्यादा होता है ना. That's why. So for West Asia crisis, do we have to learn about inflation and other factors which are affected by the conflict? You should just know the basic highlights of it. बहुत ज़्यादा deep जाने की आपको ज़रूरत नहीं है. Basic आपको पता होना चाहिए क्या क्या factors हैं, कैसे वो affect कर रहे हैं. बहुत ज़्यादा numbers में जाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. But fundamentals तो पता होने चाहिए आपको. Not just for CLAT but in general as well. ठीक है, नीट कैंसिल हो गया. इसकी थोड़ी सी बात करते हैं. रीटेस्ट ये सब हमने देख लिया. थोड़ा सा बैकग्राउंड समझते हैं इसका. दिस इज सिस्टेमिक फेलियर ऑफ कोर्स, वीक ओवरसाइट एंड करप्शन, इनएडिक्वेट मॉनिटरिंग, पुअर सिक्योरिटी, करप्शन, ब्राइबरी, पेपर लीक्स which undermine the credibility of the process. Then there is inadequate infrastructure, overcrowded centers, outdated technology, insufficient security measures. Then there is lack of policy enforcement as well. Weak regulations हैं, inconsistent penalties हैं. So there is no fear of consequences. फिर societal pressure है, high expectation है, competition है. Academic pressure parents से बहुत ज़्यादा है, peers से बहुत ज़्यादा है. Competitive environment है for scholarships and jobs which pushes these students towards unethical practices. And then there is individual ethical failures. There's lack of integrity and complicity. Students are cheating due to fear of failure, stress, or lack of personal ethics, often supported by complicit teachers or examiners. And they're rationalizing cheating as common or necessary due to perceived systemic unfairness, which erodes ethical standards for them. तो उनका कहना है कि system unfair है, इसलिए हम भी unfair हैं. But them being unfair makes the system even more unfair. So it's a vicious loop. थोड़ा सा बैकग्राउंड अगर लीगल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखें तो दिस इज गवर्न्ड बाय द एंटी चीटिंग एक्ट ऑफ 2024, then acted the Public Examination Prevention of Unfair Means Act 2024, which was to combat exam malpractices like paper leaks and cheating, which imposes stringent penalties including fines and imprisonment for those involved in leakages and facilitating unfair means. It mandates advanced security system, biometric verification, independent oversight to ensure exam integrity and transparency, and also establish independent oversight committees tasked with investigating irregularities and ensuring transparency in the process. They're also promoting adoption of computer-based testing to minimize human intervention and reduce the risk of leaks. Advanced AI tools are being deployed to detect and flag anomalies during exams, thereby enhancing transparency and accountability. Now, China's foreign minister is skipping the BRICS meeting. There will be no high-level representation from Beijing at the BRICS foreign ministers meeting in New Delhi because of scheduling reasons. The May 14-15 meeting coincides with the visit to China by Donald Trump, who lands in Chinese capital on Wednesday. Foreign Minister Wang Yi will be in Beijing for Trump's visit. China will not be sending any other high-level official for the meeting. Due to scheduling reasons, Chinese ambassador Xu Fihong will represent the foreign minister Wang Yi at the meeting. The foreign ministry said that China attaches great importance to and actively participates in BRICS and is always committed to deepening the BRICS strategic partnership and consolidating positive momentum of unity and cooperation. BRICS का background देखें तो BRIC initially was formalized at the first meeting of BRIC foreign ministers on the sidelines of UNGA in New York. The inaugural BRIC summit was convened in Yekaterinburg in Russia in 2009. उसके बाद South Africa joined in 2010, which made it BRICS. And South Africa attended the third BRICS meeting in Sanya in 2011. Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi, and UAE became full members from January, and Indonesia joined in 2025. Belarus, Bolivia, Kazakhstan, Cuba, Malaysia, Nigeria, Thailand, Uganda, Uzbekistan, and Vietnam are partner countries. Cool. How India is governing its water resources. India's water crisis is often described as one of scarcity, yet the deeper reality is a paradox. We receive 4,000 billion cubic meters of annual rainfall, but only a fraction of this water is captured, stored, or used efficiently, which shows a deeper institutional challenge. The question confronting policymakers is not merely how much water we have, but how it's governed. As India works towards the global commitments of UN sustainable goals and national aspiration of becoming developed economy by 2047, strengthening the architecture of water governance will be central to sustaining economic growth and social well-being. We support nearly one-fifth of world's population but have access to only 4% of global freshwater resource. According to Niti Aayog Composite Water Management Index, around 600 million people face high to extreme water stress. At the same time, we receive substantial rainfall each year. Hydrological assessments show that while total water availability is high, only about 1100 billion cubic meters are considered usable due to limitations in storage infrastructure, uneven rainfall distribution, and ecological constraints. Decline in per capita water availability shows this growing stress. In early years after independence, water availability exceeded 5,000 cubic meter per person annually. Today, it is barely 1,400 cubic meters. Groundwater extraction has become the principal coping mechanism. India is now the world's largest groundwater user, accounting for roughly a quarter of global extraction. This dependence has enabled agricultural expansion and rural livelihoods, but it has also resulted in declining water tables across several regions, which point to a central conclusion that our water crisis is as much institutional as it is hydrological. Our water governance operates through a complex multi-level institutional structure involving union government, state government, local bodies. National level पे Jal Shakti Ministry is the nodal authority for water resources. There's also Central Water Commission, which focuses on surface water planning, basin development, flood control, and Central Groundwater Board assesses groundwater resources and scientific inputs for aquifer management. Niti Aayog evaluates water governance performance across states through index and indicators like Composite Water Management Index. Irrigation, water supply, and groundwater regulation fall under state jurisdiction. As a result, state irrigation departments, urban water boards, and local governments play a decisive role in implementing water policies, and this multi-layered system shows India's federal design but also creates coordination challenges. And lastly, we have data and justice. In the latest step in long-standing effort to digitize the judiciary, Chief Justice Suryakant announced two initiatives from the bench called One Case, One Data, a unified data platform, judicial data platform, and Susahayak, which is an AI-powered chatbot on Supreme Court of India website. So ये दोनों आपको नाम याद रखने हैं. One Case, One Data is a data platform, and Susahayak is the chatbot. OCOD promises a unified digital trail for a dispute as it moves through various courts. Linkages between court records and litigation actions like appeals, easier access to various documents, lower need for manual verification, reciprocal access to high courts and other courts, and more accurate judicial statistics. It is notable considering the wide variation in software practices and records quality across India's thousands of district and subordinate courts. If the program succeeds, standardized data could also allow admins to determine where cases are held up and ease procedural bottlenecks and improve database decision making. Susahayak has been integrated into the court's websites front end to help users navigate case status, cause list, orders and judgments, e-services, and FAQs. While the Chief Justice said that these new tools will improve access to justice, their introduction risks deepening the digital divide. यानी कि बहुत सारे लोग डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं यूज कर पाते तो एक डिवाइड क्रिएट हो जाएगा. OCOD में require lawyers to maintain digital scanners, cloud backup options, and updated softwares. Metropolitan corporate firms can easily absorb these costs, but independent practitioners in district and taluka levels will lack the capital. The system may also introduce digital middlemen to help litigants who cannot navigate the e-filing portal, potentially creating a new layer of unregulated costs. While the government has launched assistant with voice-first capabilities like Jan Sahayak, Susahayak is primarily text-based and could exclude people who are not comfortable typing or navigating complex website menus. The state and judiciary must ensure that AI model is not biased against marginalized communities who are historically disproportionately arrested or denied bail. India's courts have generally been more comfortable with AI for assistance than for substantive reasoning. With that, we come to the end of the analysis. What is chat saying? Was it possible get off campus placements in law firms? Yes. If you are in the top 5 national law universities, that becomes much more easier and probable, and a lot of students get off campus as well as on campus placements. But well, yeah, your college brand value and what you did through 5 years of law school determines your on campus placements, your pre placement offers, as well as off campus placements. So, yeah. What's the safe percentile and rank in mocks at this point? Safe तो क्या ही है, कुछ safe unsafe नहीं है. You should be focusing on furthering your individual performance. But yeah, if you need a goal, then maybe target 85 percentile as the first target, 90 as the second, 95 percentile would be the third target, and accordingly the ranks. So yeah, सबसे पहला goal should be to reach 85 percentile in all the subjects and overall as well. Vocab देखते हैं आज की. The first word is cynosure, which means center of attraction or admiration, forefront, heart. The company is the cynosure for anyone wishing to make it in the music business. The next word is vouchsafe. Vouchsafe मतलब किसी को कोई चीज देना in a very protected manner, something which is given in a gracious or condescending manner. Grant, concede, permit. He vouchsafed the secret to only a few chosen disciples. Hinder, impede, refuse are at. So that is vouchsafe. And last word is smidgen, which is just a fancy way of saying something in a small quantity, a small amount of something. Could I have a smidgen more wine? It sounds very British in it. Then we have synonyms, which are ace, plate, or driblet. Antonyms are abundance, barrel, or portload of something. So smidgen is a small amount of something. Vouchsafe is giving or granting someone something in a protected manner. And cynosure is center of attraction or admiration. And with that, we come to the end of today's discussion, folks. Thank you so much for participating. I'll see you all tomorrow in another Hindu analysis, and the day after tomorrow in a strategy session for AILET. So please be there. Menti quiz would be on Monday. Please come prepared for modern history, 1857 to 1947. That's all for the day. Thank you so much. Tada, bye bye. Take care. Signing off.